Well, hi everybody. This is Jeremiah Owyang. I'm so excited to be here. We are going to talk about the AI agent business models, and I have definitions for you, examples. We talked about business models. I'm going to show you some ecosystems. I'm going to compare it and contrast it towards traditional AI, and then I have a forecast. And in this lens, we'll be thinking about manufacturing and other businesses as well. All right, so you probably have heard of this acronym, B2C, right? B2C. That's business to consumer. Maybe you know this one then, B2B, which is business to business. I think you know where I'm going with this, but I got a twist. B2A. What is that? Well, I think you can guess from the topic of the conversation today. It's business to agent. When a company talks to an AI agent that seems to be talking back to you, of course. Then there's the end consumer is talking to an AI agent, or might be talking to the AI agent representing one of the products that you're actually manufacturing. That's right. Every physical product in the world will start talking back to their end users or along the manufacturing supply chain as well. Whoa, we'll talk about that. And then this one is agent to agent, when the agents talk to each other and there's no humans involved. And we've already seen lots of videos of agents doing that, talking to each other using natural language. And some of them use their own languages that are computer languages. And that leads to this silly mess, B2, A2, A2A, forever. When a business triggers a discussion with an agent and they start to talk amongst each other. And these are the future business models that we expect to see in the near future. Wow, that's a lot. Well, let me properly introduce myself. I'm Jeremiah Owyang, and yes, in case you've noticed, I am in an Airstream. This is my mobile studio. I do my recordings from here. It's in my backyard. It's in my formal office. No, I don't take it on the road. It is just for work. And I am in Silicon Valley for 27 years. I live up in the hills of Silicon Valley. I've been here since .com, Web 2, the sharing economy, Web 3, and now AI. And I've got to tell you, this is the biggest boom that I've ever seen. I've seen these 5 tech waves. And there's a couple of indicators. Not only is traffic horrendous, which is an indicator of the local economy booming, but along 101, the main thoroughfare in the Bay Area connecting Silicon Valley to San Francisco, by the way, they're 2 discrete regions for those that are in the know. By my count, 1/3 of the billboards are about AI. Wow, I have never seen this level of energy and excitement about AI in any other time in my career since .com. Now, my background, I've worked in corporate, I've worked in data centers, I've worked at Hitachi, which is a giant manufacturer. I was also an analyst at Forrester Research doing industry analysis and forecasting. I was also a co-founder of a research firm called Altimeter Group, which we had an exit. And now I'm a venture capitalist investing in AI startups. This is my full-time job, and I've been writing about these tech trends for the last 20 years, and I am leading an AI fund, investing millions of dollars into the latest AI startups, including numerous agentic startups, which we'll talk about a few of them today. So I'm on the front edge in Silicon Valley, a longtime veteran here, and I'm meeting with the top builders that are actually building this stuff. And I'm kind of like your guide today to really tell you what's happening in this market and what it's going to mean to you and manufacturing. Hey, there's me front and center. You see me in the maroon shirt. This is the event series that I run called Llama Lounge. Llama Lounge, as you noticed, is only for humans. The city of Palo Alto doesn't allow us to bring llamas, alpacas, or camels, or any other 4-legged creature in these buildings. We did try. But Llama Lounge is typically 300 AI professionals. It's usually around 200 AI startup founders that are actually building this, around 50 or so venture capitalist investors like myself, and then also around 25 to 50 corporate AI leaders like chief AI officer or machine learning leader or the product manager or somebody in operations who's leading AI integration. It is the leaders of AI that attend this event, which I run, Llama Lounge. In fact, the next event will be in Stanford, Llama Lounge 17. I've been running this event series for over almost 2 years now. Here's another one in San Francisco, and this one was partnered with TechCrunch Disrupt. So I'm meeting all the folks. You can see me on the left. And then one thing that I do at every event, oh, you can see me right there. I'm holding something in my hand, is I blow a giant conch shell. I make this noise that it goes, and everybody gets excited. And it's a way to make sure that the community knows who we are, and it brings energy and excitement. I think you can tell that I have a lot of passion for technology. And about a year ago, I hosted this event, Llama Lounge 8, and it was the largest Agentic event in the world. We had around 300 people show up, and they flew in from all over the world so we can understand this trend. So I've been tracking Agentic and agents for quite a while. So I'm really wanting to be in the front of this space. How big is this market? Well, here's a forecast. This one is from Crew AI. Crew is one of the enterprise agent startups in the space that's rapidly growing. We are investors, and they forecast that the market approximately right now is around 5 billion, and it's going to grow times 10 every 5 years, and it could be around 500 to or 100 billion to 500 billion estimated forecast. And we are seeing companies adopt at a rapid pace. How fast is it growing? Crew is already in 40% of the Fortune 500, and the company is only 15 months old. Wow. Companies really want to roll out AI agents to improve efficiency within their companies. Now, you're probably wondering, this guy Jeremiah, what is he talking about? Can you please tell me what this topic means? What is an AI agent? Ha, I got you. This is an AI agent definition, and I'm going to give you a definition and the attributes and some examples. But before we talk about the actual definition, let me first tell you that when I publish, it's based upon research. Given my background at Forrester Research and then as a research analyst running a firm, I interviewed the actual leaders, the people who are actually building this stuff. So I talked to 23 AI founders and the investors who are backing them to derive this definition, working with them. And of course, we had AI help edit. So an AI agent is software, autonomous software. It is software. It's not really hardware, but it will be, that can perceive the environment around it. Right now, it's perceiving the text, or it might access a video camera. Well, I guess that's hardware. And it can make decisions, take actions to achieve specific goals. And then over time, it can learn and grow and adapt and improve. Now, this is different than traditional machine learning, which has been predictive AI. In this case, AI agents will come up with different answers depending on the situation. So that's also called non-deterministic, because the future is not determined. So it will have many different variants on how it might respond to things. So when you use, for example, when you use an LLM, it spits out information. But an agent is different, as you can see from this definition, because it actually completes a task. So think of a large language model like Claude, Anthropic Claude, or OpenAI, or Google Gemini, or Meta's Llama 3, right? Or other variants coming from China. Those are like your brain. So it has ideas and thoughts and words and natural language, whether it be text or video or audio. But the AI agent is actually grabbing the large language model as a requirement to actually process natural language and to come up with results. But the AI agent actually completes and does the actual executions. So think of it as your appendages, your limbs. So think of an LLM, large language model, as your brain, but the AI agent as your appendages. And now I think you understand how this ties into robotics and impacts manufacturing. All right, so what are some of the attributes of an AI agent? Well, it can access memory, and it can access private cloud, public cloud, or corporate cloud. It can also determine a plan of action. It will be verified in permission, which is important in corporate and manufacturing. It will complete some actions, and over time it improves. Let me give you some examples. So at home, you might have an AI agent. Make sure you have all the meals planned and all the right meals are in your fridge or ordered, or the restaurants are booked, or you have meal delivery coming. Number two, All of your emails in the future could be processed and triaged, and the easy ones already replied to using an AI agent, so it'll actually do the work and reply. 3, at work, it would go and collect the information, maybe sensors from the manufacturing line, and it would get all that data and assemble your end of month report. And then in the physical world, we already see AI agents around us here in San Francisco. Self-driving cars like Waymo are very common. We see them every 60 seconds. Those are physical manifestations of AI agents. Look at the definition. It is sensing the environment around it, making decisions, turning knows where to turn in a rapidly variable environment. It's not a constrained, contained environment. It is a very, very, San Francisco can be a little bit wild, and it actually completes the goal. It picks up a rider, takes the rider, and avoids areas of potential hazard, and it can learn. It definitely is learning over time. So that is some examples. Now let me give you the advanced scenario. An AI agent will recruit other agents, and it can also hire them or even build them. It will manage them and coordinate them, and it will give them access. So in the future, think of an AI agent as first being your junior employee, and then eventually they'll be like first level line managers. So that's what we do. In fact, this week I actually hosted an event for 40 of the top agent builders called the Agent Congress. And so I'm talking to this community. I know the builders in this space, and it's a wild thing to see all this science fiction talk in front of me coming to life. All right, but let's compare it to RPA. Now, RPA, and I know many of the leaders in the space here in Silicon Valley. I've attended the conferences, spoken at the conferences. Let's just recall, it tends to be rules-based automation. It's repetitive tasks. It doesn't necessarily learn. They are in structured, constrained, often cleanly environments. It is predictable, and this is what we call a deterministic outcome. And then it executes the tasks. And it does it so efficiently, right? Very efficiently. Now, on the other hand, is agentic. It is a little bit different, where it thinks about the goal, but then it chooses the means in order to achieve that goal. So it is non-deterministic. The outcome could be slightly different every time, but it would still seek to achieve that goal. It is dynamic in the way it reasons. It's using unstructured data in a variable environment, and it might pull from OpenAI today. It might pull from Claude in the next minute. It could pull data from different sources, so it's constantly in a variable situation. And it can manage end-to-end orchestration across a multiple flow, including, as we talked about, recruiting other agents or building them. But how do they work together? Together, and this is the frontier that I'm exploring, and I'm going to be investing millions of dollars into this category, is thinking about the AI agent as the brain. Think about RPA as the hands, and this would be a hybrid workflow automation. We are looking at this category and thinking like, how could we use this unstructured and structured together? And the agent could start to signal when RPA could start and stop, and also pull in non-deterministic agents. So we'll see this combination. So this is a kind of a new frontier to think about, especially as it impacts manufacturing. Now, let's talk about AI agents just in the terms of the internet. And we think about the future of what does this mean to us? And right now, most humans are going across different websites or apps to get information, whether we're at work or at home. And we have to run across the internet and get all this information, or across enterprise apps, or across the manufacturing line, or across the value chain or the supply chain. And it's just very, very tedious. In the future, the AI agents will go and retrieve information for us. So this will be the first use case, is just information retrieval. And they will also complete tasks, maybe fill out forms, fill out reports, generate reports, and complete these things all for us. And it also means that the data would reassemble in the way that you want. So do you like text, video, or audio? Whatever you like, that's the way you're going to get that information. The user experience of the app or the website or the enterprise app doesn't matter. Do you want the information in the noon, or in the morning, or at night, or when it's relevant? You choose. Do you want a lot of information, a little, or a summary? You get to choose. So basically it means that the presentation layer is going to segment and separate from the data layer, and then all of that information would be pulled to you and reassembled in the way that you want to see it presented. And that's going to be a significant change. All enterprise apps have to redesign. All websites have to rethink their strategy. all consumer apps have to rethink their strategy. This Google search is under incredible fire. Enterprise, as we know it, will change because we might have a single interface now to get all of this information. So thinking about how efficient that you might be in your role, this is about to hit you. Let me show you some examples. Well, on the enterprise side, Salesforce has been rolling out Agentforce, and they have a number of agents, customer care, marketing, sales, and they'll roll them out into other business units as well. And they are all coordinated with their agent orchestration tool. I think it's called Atlas. And they had a big conference called Dreamforce last year, and they rebranded it as Agentforce. They did a big push into the space. And as a result, all these corporations got involved and wanted to roll out agents. The next one is HubSpot, which is an SMB CRM. It's commonly used for sales and marketing for small businesses to manage accounts. And they're rolling out agents with Agent.ai, which is a marketplace of hundreds, thousands of different agents that you could recruit or hire or integrate into your systems. So imagine a marketplace of agents for the manufacturing vertical. We should expect to see that, where you can, just as you would see a marketplace of workers, you will see a marketplace of AI agents you could integrate into your workforce and across the supply chain. So this is going to be coming to everyone. We're also seeing new forms of payment emerge. Right now, most payments are being done by humans on the internet. But imagine what happens when the AI agent is doing contracts and payments on our behalf. Whether it's with a supplier or you're selling a product on B2B or it's even B2C, the agent will be shopping and buying on behalf of the buyer. There will be rules set up. The AI agent has two major features. This is from Skyfire, one of the companies we backed, where they have agent certification, like profiles that we know that this agent is certified and is reputable. And secondly, the AI agent has a payment protocol where they can transact. And credit card transactions are probably too large when agents transact. We're going to see microtransactions. So these agents will be transacting with small amounts of stable coins. And this company is backed by Coinbase Ventures. And this is to avoid fees, which credit cards would be too expensive for that to happen. So imagine microtransactions happening up and down your supply chain and value chain and with your partners and suppliers, where agents are doing all of that brokering and purchasing the products and potentially raw resources, and the agents are doing all of that for us. That is the future that we foresee. We talked about Crew. Crew AI is open source that anybody can grab. You can get it right now, and you can integrate it into your business workflows. They also compete with LangGraph, LangChain, so those are the two players in the space. Obviously, the big enterprise companies are going to offer their versions as well, but companies are rolling this into their organizations to create efficiencies immediately. Many business units across the enterprise are using agents to simplify workflows and to really ensure that things that humans don't really want to do could be automated by agents that can think and talk and complete tasks. Next, it's not just limited to the startups, but also the giant tech companies as well. Google has launched their own AI agent. This one is connected to Chrome, so it's actually in the browser, and it will take control of your browser with your permission, of course, and it will go ahead and complete and grab information from different websites. It will surf the different websites, collect information, and then complete tasks. So if you're being asked to fill out forms in order to receive more resources from a supplier, this AI agent from Google could complete that for you in theory. It could also conduct transactions as well. These tools will manage the interface for us, whether it's the public internet or an extranet with partners or even intranet within our companies. These AI agents will do that. And of course, OpenAI has their own version called the Operator. Hello, calling the Operator. And it is also browser-based. And this is early stage. They haven't fully rolled this out. And it will complete and perform tasks for you. So you can see the world's largest tech companies, from Salesforce to OpenAI to Google, are leaning into the agent space, in addition to the hot startups which I am tracking as well. So it is absolutely a trend. So when we see that all of these technologies are available and they immediately create utility and they're immediately useful and they can immediately do tasks, we know that companies will adopt this at a rapid pace. Now, let me give you a tour. Think of me as your tour guide, and I have a map for you. This is the AI agent ecosystem. And again, it's derived from interviews from the people that are actually building this stuff. I'm not actually building anything, right? I invest in the people who are building in it. So at the bottom layer is the data layer. And the data layer is where the AI agents are getting their information. And most of the world's information, it's estimated 80% is in a private cloud or a corporate cloud or government cloud. That's where most of the information is. It's not on the public web or in a social network or on YouTube. It is all private, and we'll never actually know how much that is. Now, they're also getting information from the public web. They're scraping data and they're understanding websites and completing tasks on behalf of people. And then also we're expecting to see some unified standards emerge where the agents have interoperability. Consumer Reports, yes, Consumer Reports is partnered with Stanford, and they were just at my event this week, and they're trying to figure out some standards where the AI agents could all start to work together and be interoperable, and that would be important for anybody who's working with a diverse set of partners across the supply chain. The next level is the management layer. There's numerous technologies, startups, and software features here where the agents need to have safety in place, and this is permissions and security. So have you heard of the term KYC? Know your customer? Yes, of course you have. So I'm sure you can guess what is KYA. Know your agent. So we'll see tiered credentials on who the agent is and ensuring that the right players are involved in your business and the wrong players are not granted access. And then the capabilities in which they can complete their tasks are then added on as a layer. Over to the right, management. So think of this as, for those who know supply chain, think of this as orchestration of your supply chain. In this case, there is software that exists where you first observe the many, could be 10, 20, 100,000, million AI agents. Imagine a million AI agents up and down your supply chain and value chain, all working together or not working together. You're going to need AI orchestration software. And this is where we see a number of startups emerging here. But imagine a million AI agents make a request at the same time. We need arbitration, and this is where this will start to happen. Then we have payment layer, and then of course they learn and improve over time. Let's talk about robotics. This is the next layer, the application layer. So it is our thesis that we will see this existing agentic market of software startups and big tech start to integrate with the hardware players. And they'll start to integrate the software so humans can have natural language conversations with robots, whether they be for manufacturing or even consumer, or even with our cars. And they will start to think and operate on their own and see and sense the world around themselves like a simple creature would, like a 4-year-old child as the starting point, and start to complete simple tasks that are goal-based. The way that they complete the tasks will be non-deterministic, means they may complete the task in a different way each time. And the robots would be powered by agentic software, also combined with traditional machine learning and also RPA. So this is how we're expecting a merge, or a hybrid is what we're calling this, to think about this happening. So right now in the software space, there are thousands of AI agent startups. There's a website, by the way, if you want to look for them. At the website is a directory called there'sanAIforthat.com. There'sanAIforthat.com. Of course, that's the perfect URL. And on there, I think there's 32,000 AI agent startups and AI startups. So go check it out and do a sort and search for manufacturing and see what comes up there. There'sanAIforthat.com. Now, on the right-hand side is the agent platforms. Think of this as a horizontal of enterprise software that can be repurposed across multiple use cases or industries or verticals or business units. And these companies are also emerging as well. And at the highest level here, is the ecosystem layer. There is software emerging that helps to coordinate the different AI agents, and we're seeing marketplaces emerge. The marketplaces are where you can buy, hire, retrieve, or request for an AI agent to help. And in the future, you don't do that. Your primary AI agent, called a meta agent, would go and recruit those AI agents for you. So imagine in the future there's like a marketplace and you're rolling out a new manufacturing line and you need some new AI agents that are geographically specific. So you might have your AI agent go find those software agents and install them and make sure that they're compliant with the way that your manufacturing is rolling out in a very specific new geography. So this is how that could happen. And doesn't it just sound like staffing, like local staffing of humans? Yes, that is very similar, except the difference is, of course, with AI agents is they're going to be very cheap. They never stop sleeping, and they can be generally on the same level of quality without changing. But they're going to lack some things that humans do. Humans are better at communication and empathy and being creative. So, of course, humans and AI agents can work together. So that's the marketplace here, the ecosystem. We talked about the ecosystem layer, the application layer, the management layer, and then also the data layer. You need to understand this within inside of your company. Where do all these pieces sit? Now, for the CIO, CTO, or Chief Data Officer, this is already inherent in who you are. But even as a business person, you need to understand all of these pieces as well, because it will help you to understand where do you have strengths and how do you roll out AI agents inside of your company. Now, these changes are quite significant. We have seen that with AI agents that the way people get and trade information will be quite significant. So Gartner predicts and forecasts that because people are going to rely on AI agents to get information, that the search engine traffic to Google will drop by 25% by the end of this year in 2026. Wow. That is a significant drop. And that really scares Google because the way that we get information is changing. It's not just Google. Former Microsoft CEO Bill Gates also says something similar. Whoever wins the personal agent, that's the big thing. Because you'll never go to a search site again. You'll never go to a productivity site. And you'll never go to Amazon again. So that the way that we get information and even shop as consumers is about to change. That is a big change. And it also means that the way that we make decisions is going to change. Even as B2B or even a decision maker within a corporation, the way that we get information is we often use search tools. We go do research, we compare information, and we follow this funnel, such as awareness, engagement, consideration, and then finally making that decision. If it's consumer, it's purchasing. If it's B2B, then you talk to the account rep. And this process is really not a great process specifically on the internet. This information is spread out everywhere. You have to use multiple different interfaces. There's ad supports that ads follow you around. Google has the answers to all these things, but they often don't want to give it to you. They just want to show ads. So it's not a great experience on the way people make decisions. In the near term, whether it's B2C or B2B, the way that we'll make decisions is different. We'll be in a dialogue with AI. We'll be asking AI questions about a topic or a need or a pain. And then it will also start to get information, solutions, and bring it back to us. We'll ask the AI to compare these solutions and help line them up, sort order, even price them. And then when it's time to make a decision, we can have the AI agent actually go and complete that task for us. So that's this collaborative way where we'll be working with AI to get these things done. Now, lastly, in the midterm, I've been asked on this, when will this happen? It depends on which industry you're in. Midterm is that the AI will understand what you want. And so we will be connecting the AI agents to our data systems, whether it's personal clouds, private clouds, business clouds, and it will know what we want. It will look for patterns. And it will actually be recommending the different solutions that we actually need. And that's a big change where the AI is being proactive. In the distant future, we should expect that it will source the right materials or even purchase products on our behalf before that we know we needed them. And that would be a significant change when it can start to predict what do we want. So this is the decision funnel. And whether it's B2B, B2C, or B2B2B, it's a manual process today. It's going to become hybrid with AI. And then eventually AI will help us to make decisions in a proactive, autonomous method. And I think that's a significant change for us to start to think about. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I actually start this within my own company? So let's have a conversation on this. I speak with C-suite executives, and there's a wide range on how companies are adopting AI, and it also depends on which industry. I see the retail industry and CPG and banking and also pharma moving very quickly into the AI space. They're integrating these, they're using chatbots, they're using those autonomous agents to complete tasks. So I don't hear too often on how the manufacturing space is using agentic solutions. So there's an opportunity for all of you to be the leaders in the space, to really create efficiencies and to unlock new forms of creative experiences with AI agents. So based upon the discussions that I have heard from management consulting teams or from the leaders of AI at corporates who attend my events, here are some ways that we can think about how you can roll these things out in 5 practical ways to start with agentic AI in manufacturing. Now, this first one, I know it seems very basic, but what we have found is that most companies' data is spread all over the place, dirty, duplicated, incorrect, it's not updated, it's stale, and there's no clear owners. The owner who created that data lake could be gone. And so the first thing that the AI leadership should do is appoint a champion to really get the data cleaned up within your company. That's really important. And then he or she should start to think about rolling out different programs to help the organization to use agentic systems. So we are hearing about numerous companies setting up internal AI centers of excellence, and they are having a clear leader that reports up to the CEO or the COO, and maybe it is that function. And they are also cross-functional, working with IT and the business units as well. Yes, I understand that there is sometimes tension between those two groups, like who is supposed to lead these things and who has the resources. And so the center of excellence could be a business unit, could be IT, it could be a third group that emerges. It just depends on your company culture. And this is something that we're seeing across many organizations. A chief AI officer is emerging to really lead that, and also somebody who might be just focusing on agentic systems as well. Here's some low-hanging fruit that is easy to grab. One use case that every company can do immediately as you're starting that process to clean up your data is to have all of your AI systems ingest all of your documents that already exist. And it could be the bill of materials, quotes, specs, PDFs, reports, spreadsheets, emails, messages, whatever it is that could be useful to the business. And then asking that AI to start helping to clean up that information. So that might be a great first step, is just ascertaining the information and the data that's already present without having to complete any actions. It's just getting understanding of all of that information. And then what companies are doing from there is they're putting agentic systems on top of that enable any human to have a natural language discussion with that AI once it's pre-trained on all of that corporate information, all of that corpus. It could be a text-based conversation. It could be an audio conversation, or I don't know, maybe you have a 3D avatar where you're having a video conversation, learning about the information within your organization. And for companies that are ready to take the next step, they can also enable their partners to access this AI as well. They can have natural language conversations on this data corpus, assuming they have rights access to it. That leads to the next one, which is a moderate use case, kind of medium. You can automate your frontline messaging, whether it's sales, marketing, customer care, partnerships, channel partnerships. You can use AI agents as your tier 1 conversation with all of your partners. And if you have inbound sales or you have customer care, the responses, you could have it trained off your knowledge base and of those other documents that we talked about just a second ago. These AI agents are now informed and can really save your company time. The AI agent is available 24/7. It can be localized in any language. That's huge. And it can give out useful information in real time anytime anybody's looking for information. And that is a moderate use case now that we're actually moving a little bit towards being market facing. This means that your teams can work on higher level work and they can analyze the data to see what people are asking about. And this is a great use case to really smooth out efficiencies. The next one is to really thinking about improving the maintenance. This is a moderate use case. These are all for your consideration. You can have an AI agent analyze your logs and the sensor data from across the manufacturing lines and across your product lines and predict when is maintenance, or are we having a shortage, or how can we bolster certain areas. This is really valuable information towards your core product line, which is manufacturing products. And you can have natural language interfaces just using plain English, and teams can be alerted to the information, and you can have a conversation with the AI. You can ask the AI agent more information, and eventually, as these agents are trusted, you can give them the power to actually conduct actions and to complete tasks, which is the vision that we have for AI agents. It's not just analyzing information, but to complete tasks. But I wanted to start off slow here, so I'm giving you some easy, moderate, and moderate to think about. Then you can start thinking about advanced use cases. So exploring hybrid task management. And this is how, so humans are great at being creative and thinking and being strategic and empathy. Machine learning, RPA, is great at repeatable, deterministic tasks that are very precise. AI agents and generative AI and foundational models, large language models, are something different, where it's kind of completing that aspect, where it's great with variable information, non-standard information. It's completing non-deterministic tasks, which means that the way that it behaves is different each single time. And so exploring these hybrid use cases, how can you involve agents in your existing workflows? Where do they fit in? So the way I would think about this is you have a standardized process that's very robotic. And you are asking humans to help out and bring in the things that they're great at, the qualitative aspects. That's when you want to slot in AI agents to help supplement or even replace some of those tasks that the humans are doing. So figuring out how AI agents can play a role into that, that is the analysis to think about. So thinking about multi-system coordination, exception handling, decision tree workflows. AI agents are good at multitask and sequence, and also coming up with the task to complete a goal. The AI agent is a problem solver. That's very different than traditional machine learning, where the AI agent is thinking and coming up with different types of ways to do this. Now, on this note, there is a new class of software that I didn't talk about yet, which is called the agent simulation software. You might know this as a digital twin. And there's a number of startups that have emerged, even in San Francisco, where they watch how AI agents behave, and then they get 1,000 times or 100,000 times the data simulating the path of that agent, whether it be robotic or software. And then they're able to develop kind of a bell-shaped curve and understanding most agents, 50% of the agents are going to behave within this type of manner most of the time. And so agent simulation has become a way of predicting how non-deterministic or variable behaviors would actually occur when you roll out AI agents. All right, so I gave you a lot of information, but I wanted to make it practical to help you to get started as a manufacturing company in the space. But I want to summarize everything for you in this one final slide. Number one, the AI agents are going to bring the information to us. We don't have to run around to go to different enterprise apps or consumer apps or the internet or any app. There'll be one interface or just a few interfaces where the AI agents bring the information back to where we want it. Wow, that's going to make it really easy for us to see what we want to see. And number two, as part of that, is it will reassemble the information in the way that you want. You'll get the information, whether it's text, video, or audio, in the way that you want to see it. And this is changing the way that we think about interfaces. Number two, AI agents operate somewhere between RPA and humans. The AI agents can take on multi-complex tasks, different workflows, and this is where RPA struggles, which is very deterministic and logical and precise and often pre-planned, where AI agents are not necessarily pre-planned because they tap into a large language model and can find different methods and different ways to complete the task. So thinking about how to integrate this is the real key strategy here. Now, traditional big companies, of course, are going to be moving into this category. I already see this in retail, consumer, CPG, banking, pharma. It's already happening. They are launching their own AI agents to converse with their partners, stakeholders, whether that be externally facing or internally. They're also thinking about launching an API where the AI agent from their partners can grab the information very quickly rather than trying to parse the information on a website. So we're seeing a new form of data transfer between AI agents starting to emerge. Number four, think about AI agents as your colleague in some ways. So they will be next to us inside of the business and in the enterprise. And the evolution is going to be like this. You probably see an AI agent right now on a Zoom call and it's recording. But over time, they'll start to become proactive and take meeting notes, but then they will start to actually execute those meeting notes. Whoa, think about that. And they'll be like managers where they will tell us or direct us what we need to do. And some workers will report directly to an AI agent. That will be their manager. Now, I already know that manufacturing, this is already being done in some of the world's largest manufacturing or processing plants. For example, many employees at Amazon report to an AI. And by the way, have you ever taken an Uber or a Lyft ride? Every single one of those drivers reports to an AI since the inception of the company. Humans already report to an AI. Next is your partners and eventually your customers and even your potential competitors might be AI agents. What does that mean? It means that we're going to see a new type of economy emerge. Now, I realize this is kind of science fiction, but I want to leave you on some big thinking as this final bit here, that AI agents, they will start to develop their own communities and like a company where it can offer services or maybe manufacture goods, and you can hire them, you can buy them, or it might be a software agent that completes tasks for you. Maybe it does data analysis and it will generate revenue. It will start to learn and improve over time. And soon we're going to start to see these autonomous organizations emerge. AO, autonomous organizations. And they might end up being your customer, your partner, or even your competitor. And they will start to learn and grow on their own. And this is something that we have not yet seen today, although there are some parallels between Bitcoin. We don't know who created it. It's its own ecosystem that kind of runs on its own in a distributed way. And that will probably happen in this AI agent ecosystem as well, where an autonomous organization emerges, something we've never seen before. I wanted to thank you so much for your time with me. If you wanted to stay in touch, here's my contact information. But the good news is, if you wanted my slides and you want to stay in touch with me and get my twice monthly newsletter talking about AI agents, just open your phone and you can click on that QR code and it will take you to a Google form. Just enter your email and you can grab my slides and we can stay in touch. Thank you so much for your time today. Back to you.